Thanks. It's Colin here again. This is my fourth video. I've been on the Olympics at the moment and I want to keep on that. Basically, I want to make New Zealand the greatest nation this world has ever known. But we're taking one thing at a time here. Excuse me. Basically, you really need to hear my videos, my 3 videos, to capture the idea of what's happening. So I can't go into those again. So what I've got to do is sort of just perhaps recap a bit on what is going on. Now, it's really best to hear the videos actually, rather than to sort of give a brief account about it. Basically, I want the medal system changed. But it's really best, though, to hear the video rather than to... I could give you then a bit of an outline, but it's really best to hear the videos. But anyway, you can't interrupt. This is the good idea of a video or print. You can't interrupt print or video. But basically, the idea is to have gems instead of this plated gold bullshit. The last gold medal was 1912. So what you're getting now is you're just getting brass or copper, or whatever the metal is, plated with gold. It's not gold plated with gold. It's another metal. What is that metal? If it's, say, copper or, say, bronze, no, or it could have been bronze, yeah. But let's say it's copper or what's another one? Brass, something. See, well, that's all you're getting then is, say, brass coated with gold, and that's what you're getting. And you couldn't sell those sort of things if you had gems. Say, a woman took a spray of gems to a pawnbroker, and she wanted $500,000 for them. Now, she'd hardly get anything like $500,000 if they were coated. If they were, say, brass or copper coated with a bit of diamond or coated with this and that, they've got to be the real genuine ones. Excuse me. So this is what we've got to have, and then after you hear the videos, give the New Zealand Committee arseholes about it on your video, on your emails, on the email there, and then they might do something about it to change over to gems. But so first gets the diamond, a splash of diamonds and things for perhaps worth $500,000 for those to come first, and second comes the ruby, I think it is. Third, the emerald, and fourth, the sapphire, I think. But as I say, it's best to hear my videos. I can't repeat a bloody again on them all the bloody time like this. Keep up with my videos. That's the thing. Just look up for Colin Martin on the Olympics, and the smartphone should bring it up for you. There might be something on this too before you get it. So that's the idea at the moment, is a change in the medal system, and a change in the medal system, and to give the arseholes to the New Zealand committee, because they're the ones to handle the changeover from plated gold and this bullshit plated gold and silver that's not worth anything, and bronze is particularly an insult. See, these athletes train hard for New Zealand, and they want they don't want that. Well, after they hear my videos, they'll want something better than what they're getting. So it's best to hear the videos in and go from there. There's just sort of a bit of a sort of a recap here. But I can't, as I say, go into it a bloody again because it's just the same as my last videos. So you have to hear the videos, and then our idea is to give the committee for the arseholes, give them an arseholes kind of video. Say, we demand gems, and don't be sweet. Don't give them sweet stuff. Give them arseholes, and there's more chance of them changing. And so our athletes then at the Tokyo Olympics can come back with these diamonds and rubies and things that's outlined in my videos. And if we don't do this for this Olympics, it's 4 years a bloody way before we get the next Olympics. Every 4 bloody years, and we're trying to get it done this way because the Olympics not until the end of July next year, of course, in Tokyo, and so they're not there till the end, and so there's plenty of time. Especially today, you can do things like pressing buttons. You can literally push money into somebody's bank account, buy money if they needed money to get the gems, and find the gems. Just put money. How much money do you need? Chop it in by buttons. Even give them you could probably even give them a bank account number by just pressing buttons. And so it can be done quickly, but we've got to move because, as I say, the Olympics at the end of July. So in this video now, I want to. There's so much to say, and I just have to put it on several videos. It's most that might give me is half an hour. What can we say now? I've mentioned about New Zealand wanting to be bombed by the Japanese, so you'll have to read see my video to see what happened there. Why wasn't New Zealand bombed by the Japanese? And we're sort of operating on the same principle for New Zealand. Because also, you see, I also want our roads protected, and there'll be no accidents of bloody at all, let alone any deaths or anything. And then a new system of travel too, it's, and so on. So there's a lot to be done for New Zealand yet. We need to have produce going over to the UK up in orbit, because once you get rid of air turbulence and you get into orbit, then you can go 25,000 miles an hour, and we can get our produce over, and our meat and our butter and that over to UK and very quickly. But anyway, there are things that needs to be done for New Zealand. A lot needs to be done for New Zealand, and there's a lot to be done for New Zealand, but I sort of need to take one thing at a time, I think, and rather than to sort of try and take even two things on at one time. So therefore, then, see my videos, look up Colin Martin, Martien, Colin, and the smartphone should bring you up on the Olympics. So to the smartphone, you wanted Colin Martin on the Olympics. And I think somebody brought that up, but there might be something here that you can get to my videos, and then in turn email the New Zealand committee, which should be on here somewhere, and give them assholes, and we see that big changeover. Well, we got no more time for that now, so what I want to stress at the moment is how can our athletes go faster? And this is what I want to, but you really need the backup of the other videos. That's the thing to explain this. And it's just that, as I say, I can't go over them a bloody again because just repeating myself. So let's have a look then at how can our athletes go faster? Well, as I say, you really need the backup of the other videos. Yes, it's a matter of taking the stadiums. As I mentioned, it's a bit difficult to mention this without the backup of the other videos. So I don't really know how to put it at the moment now, seeing you haven't got the backup. I don't know how I can start here. Oh yes, well look, I mentioned in one of my videos who's the author of all love. That's right, the author of all love, whether it be fucking, whether it be kissing, whether it be fastest tongue in the West, as mentioned before, and whether it be the loving for the unlovely, whether it be what Princess Diana had. Was it Princess Diana? Was she the people's princess? And then she would put her arms around an African boy who she knew was HIV positive, and she also knew, say, he had AIDS as well. She'd put her arm around the boy. She, I think, was known as the People's Princess. Was it Princess Diana? Was it? I never even got my facts right here before this video. And then this Prince Harry, apparently, he's taken over the love that he got it from his mother. So he's got that same love. So therefore, then all the author of all love, as I say, whether it be fucking, whether it be kissing, is the Holy Spirit. He's the author of all love, and he's the one that can help us. Oh, that's what I gave examples in my last video about Rees Howells. I don't know if that was the one I got on. In case I have mentioned in a previous video about Rees Howells, perhaps I could mention Salarino. So I haven't mentioned that. I have mentioned that Hitler, ever since he walked into the Rhine in 1936 and invoked the Locarno Treaty, ever since then an intercessor is a sort of extended prayer. You've been praying about Hitler and interceding, and there were a few intercessors been watching Hitler and praying for him and praying about the problem, interceding. And I think I mentioned, not sure whether I mentioned about Moscow, but I did mention, I haven't mentioned Salarino. What actually happened was that the United States was wanting to establish a beachhead, and but the Germans were advancing with their superior 88mm guns, and they knew that unless a miracle happened, they couldn't establish this beachhead. So Rees Howells and his intercessors were interceding back in the UK about Salarino because they were following Hitler and they were following, actually they didn't seem to have anything to do with Japanese, it was mainly Hitler. So anyway, what actually happened during the course of this intercession in the UK, suddenly they broke through into the heavenlies, and Rees Howells knew something had happened, and he stopped the prayer meeting, and he began to give thanks to the Holy Spirit for what he's just done. And he looked at the clock, and it was on the stroke of 11. So anyway, it was to this effect what happened at the scene of the of Salarino. The Germans were advancing as I say, with their superior 88mm guns. And the noise was terrible. But all of a sudden, without warning, the firing stopped. And they waited in breathless anticipation. And there's a reporter at the scene. And he looked at his watch, and it was 11 o'clock at night. Same time that Rhys Howes looked at the clock, and it was on the stroke of 11. Now, I wondered how could it be 11 o'clock at night in Salarino and 11 o'clock in the UK? This didn't seem to add up there. How could it be the same time? Well, there's two things. One, it could be that he didn't change his watch over into time. And secondly, it was said it was to this effect. So when you have something said to this effect, it might not be specifically exactly what it was just to this effect. But the fact that the firing stopped and didn't at all proceed until it didn't proceed at all for the rest of the night. And by the morning, the United States had established the beachhead. And at least one newspaper the next day screamed the headlines, "Miracle at Salarino." And that was just one of the miracles that's happened in the Second World War. But I haven't got time to sort of go into these. All my time's getting away again. So the Holy Spirit was the one who stopped the Germans from firing. And that was just one example. So we're kind of looking at the Holy Spirit, who's the author of all love, and he can also be very helpful for the Allies and for anything really that you need. He's there. He's a helpmate. This is what we want for New Zealand. We want him to stop the deaths on our roads so New Zealand can be a fan of the Holy Spirit, because he's done so much for us. Look what he's done. He's saved us. There's no deaths, there's no suicides in New Zealand now. Women are so happy, they get climax after climax after climax. The Holy Spirit gives it to them, and men can just keep on going when the Holy Spirit's in charge. And they can, it's a wonderful sex life, male and female can have, and he can get our produce over, as I say, to the UK, and he can have us flying through space, and he can do all sorts for New Zealand. He can stop all this sickness and death and everything. Paul of Tarsus said in the Bible, he said, the last enemy that shall be destroyed is something as death. He saw death as an enemy. So we don't have to have people dying. He can protect us. And so he can do wonderful things for New Zealand. And that's what I'm looking for. But as I say, it's really best to hear my videos and get a sort of a better idea. Now, I haven't got much time left to bloody gain here, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Let's say, he can able to do wonderful things. We're talking about making our athletes go faster. Now, he's able to do that, and if he does do that, then it will be acceptable, because the Holy Spirit is no respecter of persons. So if the Olympic Committee find out that New Zealanders snapped up the diamond in the swimming events, and by taking a whole minute off the world record, and the snapped up the diamond, and the second one snapped up moved in a few seconds later and snapped up the snapped up the ruby, and the third New Zealander snapped up the emerald, and then someone else snapped up the sapphire, and so on. And so the Holy Spirit can help, and this is what we're sort of looking at, is help to smash these records. And so New Zealand could come home with all these diamonds and rubies and things, instead of all this shit they give you, bronze shit and that. but it's on the videos. So we take, say, an incident, then I've got no more time. I've got 5, 10, 20 minutes. I've got maybe 10 minutes if I'm lucky, if they give me half an hour. Let's say then that we're looking at smashing the 3-minute mile. Now, you might think, oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. But when you're dealing with the Holy Spirit, which New Zealand become a fan of, He can help our athletes do that, and he's able to do that. But just that I've got so little time left here, 10 minutes, less than that. So yes, that's right, it's taking stadiums that I was following on from a video, I'm not sure, so I put a video on, but it wasn't taken, it's only 1 minute went on it. No, I think that was the video that I mentioned things about New Zealand. I'll have to find that one out. Yes, I'm not sure if I mentioned about the stadiums. That's right, I put on a video, but it didn't go on properly, only about 1 minute. And that might have been the one that I mentioned about New Zealand supposed to have been bombed by the Japanese and how that was stopped. And but anyway, I'll just carry on then and in this video, and yes, I'd forgotten about that. So I put a video on, but it didn't go on, and only 1 minute went on, and that might have been the one where I mentioned about New Zealand supposed to have been bombed, and Carly. You really need that backup. But anyway, seeing I've mentioned about that, I could say that that New Zealand it can get help. That's right. It can even smash the 3-minute mile. That can happen too, and it can even happen by a teenager too. Can do it too. And if the 3-minute mile is smashed, especially by a teenager, it would be the game for anywhere. It could be like an earthquake at 8.5 on the sporting world, and New Zealand could be just the talk of the world, and smashing a 3-minute mile could be, what shall I say, the talk. It could be the world headline news for that hour. And excuse me, I'll have to find out whether I put my videos on about New Zealand. I got no more time here on this one either to really mention about this. Yes, it only went for 1 minute, and I think that might have been the video that never got on. I'll have to check it out. So this can be done, and with the help of the Holy Spirit, we'll need His help to do everything in New Zealand. All the problems, and Samoa could get help, and too about this these deaths by measles, and perhaps I just haven't got any time left actually. But perhaps I could just go on about my about organic pasture growth. You see, in the United States, they had land organic pasture, and they tried to give cows in experiments. They tried to give them Bang's disease and other diseases. They just tried to give them diseases, just in experiments. But they found that that they didn't take it, and they just kept on eating. And this is what New Zealand needs. We needed to get our land up to organic status. And I've actually moved from something I was going to mention about taking this world record breaking the 3-minute mile, but I'm just looking at the time here. I'll have to go. It's been nearly half an hour. So it's gone to the organic pasture now, and so it can be tested out. See, we've just had a disease just recently in our cattle, and the cattle killed because they caught a disease, and we want to stop that. And so we need Debbie Olsen's the one who can put us right on that. She's a guru, and she can tell us exactly how we need to put our land up to organic status. I'm just looking at the time here. I'm just a little bit confused here because I'm not sure that my last video went on, because as I said, it only went on for 1 minute, and I'll have to just put another video on. So my time's up here. It's nearly half an hour. Be lucky if they give me that. And so we'll just then close on this at the moment. I'll put another video on, and so we'll just move to the organic status. And so then there's another one too about our farms too. I've got no more time. Big water tanks actually have to be put up, and I can tell you where the money can come from, and sheets of corrugated iron come down and fill the reservoirs, and then they have churning systems that keep the water fresh, and the churning keeps away the mosquitoes from breeding, and moss and mildew. Taps down below, and the farmer's got plenty of water. Most of the water's held up in the air by big reservoirs. The corrugated iron, as the rain hits the corrugated iron, just pours into the reservoirs and fills them up and that. But it's just another thing I want for New Zealand. But I'm just looking at this time here. See, I just got no time. So this will just have to do at the moment for this video. But try to dig up my other videos, and I'll check and see what if I mentioned about New Zealand being bombed, supposed to be being bombed by the Japanese, whether that one came on or whether it was the one that was only lasted 1 minute. So in the meantime, look up my videos and follow through, and give the committee, the New Zealand Committee for it should be on here somewhere, the New Zealand Committee, give them arseholes for the change over to the gems, because you need to give them arseholes rather than be sweet, and so we can change things over. I'm confused here. I'm sorry about this time, but I must go, so I'll just put on another video and I'm more sorted out. So thank you for listening. So keep up my other videos. Colin Martin on the Olympics, and the smartphone should bring it up for you. Well, my time's up, so I'll catch up with you on another video. So I hope I can be more organised. So thank you for now. So kids, that's the idea, is to keep up with my videos, and hopefully I'll get things sorted out better in my next video. So okay then, so thank you for listening, and I'll catch up with you on my next video. This is Colin Martin here saying goodbye for now. Goodbye.